Good evening, wherever you are, from Sofia, Bulgaria, the city of wisdom, the city of light, the city of faith. My name is Dimitri Mandoujev. I'm the Secretary for International Relations and Secretary for, um, just a second, guys. Okay. For the public relations of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons in Bulgaria. Today, we will have a short video presentation of the website of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of Bulgaria because we would like to introduce to you what we have done during the previous years. We will show you how you can get in touch with us. We will show you how you can accumulate more knowledge about the Freemasonic movement in Bulgaria and also Freemasonry as a whole in the world. Now, let me just say this thing. We have a bilingual website. Basically, it's in Bulgarian and English language. However, most of the stuff that is in Bulgarian language, we're trying to translate into English. There are some parts which still we are translating on or working on them in order to make them public and possible for the non-Bulgarian speakers to read them, to have them. But anyways, just be patient when you see something that is an only in Bulgarian language. I promise to you that what I will show you today is almost everything is in English. And if there's something in Bulgarian, it's just small bits and parts which we're working on getting them into English language. Now, just give me 5 seconds in order to share the link on the Facebook channel, because to what I know, we should be streaming already. Yes, we are streaming on YouTube. And also, we will be sharing this link on our Facebook event and on our Facebook page. Now, if you want to subscribe to the Facebook page of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons in Bulgaria, just write in your URL address www.facebook.com/glafam in Bulgaria, basically GLAFAM in Bulgaria, one word. And you will find our English language Facebook page. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I'm totally informal today, no Moslush or Baitush or whatever, because this is not intended to be only for brothers Freemasons. This is intended to be for the wide public also, in order to be able to have the people who are seeking light much more easy to find us and to get in touch with us. Whether it doesn't matter whether it will be with our Grand Lodge or with any other Grand Lodge we're working with. The idea is to popularize the Freemasonic movement as a whole through this initiative, through this video. Now, let me share my screen with you. Just a second. Okay. Now, how do you get in touch with us? If you want to look up our website and you don't know the right address, well, there's one address which for the past 10, 15, 20 years, and maybe 20 more, will be known to humanity. It's called Google, google.com, or whatever you are. In our case, for example, in the game, it's google.bg, whatever. Now, when you go to google.com, you just type in Grand Lodge Bulgaria, and what will happen is that you will get this result. Now, the first result over here is our Grand Lodge. Now, when you press on that result, maybe you'll get to the Bulgarian version. That is possible. Don't get a warning sign in your head. Don't get pissed. Don't get fed up. Now, we have this very nice, good and tweaky option. It's called English language version. You just go over here, push this button, and right you are on our English language version. Now, what we have on our website, as you see, is a pretty neat website. We don't like to publicize a lot of what we're doing. However, we do have a lot of active and day-to-day activities, which you'll find in the section that is the news, but later for that. Now, when you go to our website, let me just zoom out for a second. This is the main page. The main page basically shows a couple of photos, a couple of pictures. Some of them are in Bulgarian, some of them are in English. The idea is to get to show what is Freemasonry with a couple of symbols. As you know, symbolism is a very, very big part of Freemasonry. Now, the first thing you will notice is we have a menu, a website menu with 7 tabs. Now, the first section, the first tab is Freemasonry with a question mark. Why Freemasonry with a question mark? Well, basically, we want to explain to the people who are not part of the movement, not part of the fraternity, what is Freemasonry, not to understand it in a way that people through many popular culture and popular mainstream media think Freemasonry is. Freemasonry is not what you are bombarded on a daily basis, that we rule the world and blah 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 blah. You know, the memes on Facebook, what a Freemason is thought to be by his friend, by his wife, by his mother. It's basically the same thing. So we don't rule the world, we try to rule ourselves. Now, Freemason is about ruling yourself. Freemason is about getting to know yourself, getting to understand yourself, and getting a bit to be able to, the best word is to rule over yourself, to be able to rule over yourself. Now, Freemasonry, as you see, we have sub-menus, the idea, what is the idea of Freemasonry? When you go on that section, you have a pretty good explanation what is the idea of Freemasonry. Just check, okay. Now the internet has gone wild. Anyways, okay, here we go. The idea of Freemasonry and how it works. Then we have put a couple of wordings here, a couple of sentences if you want to learn more about Freemasonry in the world. You go to our section, which is Freemasonry in the world, history of Freemasonry in the world, or history of Freemasonry in Bulgaria, but later for that. Now, what are the virtues of Freemasonry? Well, this is not going to be a presentation about Freemasonry. This is a presentation on our website. If you want to understand more or get to learn more, go to our website. Now, I'm not going to read this. You can read it on your own. Now, why did we choose to do this event today? The 1 year ago, prior to the coronavirus pandemic disease that we're currently in it, our Grand Lodge opened the first museum of Freemasonry in Bulgaria. Now, we were thinking how to try to celebrate, how to mark this 1 year, 365, well, 366 to be precise, days while we have this museum. We said, okay, we're going to just show you the website, because our museum, apart from being a physical museum, it's in the first temple, the first Masonic hall that we have in Bulgaria. It is also, a lot of its stuff is also in the digital and online, in the digital world. Most of our videos, most of our audios, most of our books, most of our documents, we have digitized them. We're doing this for the past 5-6 years, and we're continuing to do this in order to be able to show it to the world, to show it to all of you who want to know more about Bulgarian Freemasonry or Freemasonry as a whole. Now, the museum which we have is focused 99% on Bulgarian Freemasonry, of course. However, you can find a lot of artifacts in it which concern the international activities of our Grand Lodge. Now, one of the sections, the parts of the museum are the so-called discourses. Now, what do we mean by discourses? Well, this is basically well, in Bulgarian language we say sometimes report, but basically this is a presentation when fellow Freemason, fellow just check something. Okay. When a fellow brother wants to introduce some knowledge, wants to shed light upon some ideas, and basically most of the stuff that we have accumulated during the years, you can find them online on our website in the section which is called Discourses. Most of the stuff, as I previously mentioned, is on paper. Pen was put to paper many years ago. A lot of stuff was produced, and we have that in our archives, and part of our archives are in our museum. However, you do understand that going to the museum physically to read something is not that easy, especially nowadays with the coronavirus, lockdown and whatever. However, we have thought about this many years ago, and we started digitizing, and you can read a lot of stuff that we have in our archives. Most of the stuff is from us, is from the Grand Lodge of Ancient and Accepted Principles in Bulgaria. However, on a regular basis, we tend to put up on our website and also in our library in the museum, we tend to put up stuff which is books, which is other discourses, other presentations from different lodges and from different brothers, international ones, foreign ones, from different grand lodges around the world, from other jurisdictions. Now, you can find a lot of stuff here. Basically, in plain sight, you see something like 100, 200 links. However, for now, we have something like 700 plus items, because one link can lead you to a list of files or links from which you can download or you can access another 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, even more books or items which you can get to know, which you can go through. Now, this is the so-called library part, the so-called discourses part of the museum. Now, as you see, we have put this on our website, and I'm going to tell you something which only like 5, 6 brothers still know in our Gun Lodge. We have got now 400 plus new books. Well, not new in terms that they were produced this couple of years. We have 400 and something books, which we will start publicizing and putting up online on our website, and they're from all around the world. They're digitized already, and they concern the Freemasonic idea and Freemasonry as a whole. Now, the ancient landmarks, as I stated, I'm just going through the website. We have the Constitution from 1723 and the Constitution from 1786. Now, about the history in Bulgaria, the history around the world, and of course, again, there's a special subsection for the Museum of Freemasonry in Bulgaria. Basically, if you access that subsection, you see that you can access all the sections we are already here: books and report, basically discourses, videos and audio, news and photos, postage stamps. Let me jump onto the postage stamps. You can see here, on a regular basis, the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Places in Bulgaria issues postage stamps in Bulgaria. If you're a collector, you can go to the contact section and to subsection connect, and you can order, of course, if we have, because we tend to have from time to time, we have some parts still accessible for the wide public. And if you want, you can order marks, postage stamps, as it is in English language, precisely said, that we have issued during the years back in time. Now, this is the first Grand Master, Ivan Stavrev, the most logical Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons in Bulgaria. Basically, in 1997, the United Grand Lodges of Germany, through the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of Germany, they installed the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons in Bulgaria, and the first Grand Master was the most logical brother, Ivan Stavrev. Together with him, this is from the issuing of the Mark 125 anniversary of Freemasonry in Bulgaria. Together with him, holding the postage mark on the envelope letter, is another past Grand Master of our Grand Lodge. This is the most logical brother, Lumen Rauchev. Now, we'll go through also all the Grand Masters in a couple of minutes. Now, when you go to the history section on our website, you'll be able to access, of course, around the world, you can access Wikipedia, you can access, there are many websites around the world for history of Freemasonry around the world. Basically, every Grand Lodge around the world has its own history. And if you want to get a precise historic knowledge, well, try to read at least 10, 15, 20 histories of 20 or 15 or 25 or 30 Grand Lodges. Basically, you start in a bit to understand what is the history of Freemasonry, but as a whole, you do need to do a lot of reading before saying, okay, I know the history of Freemasonry. However, if you want to get to know the Bulgarian history of Freemasonry, when did Freemasonry first appear on the territory which is now known as Bulgaria, you can access the web on our website, the history tab, and there in the subsection in Bulgaria, you'll see history of Freemasonry in Bulgaria. Now, this can be enlarged, just click on it. It's a schematic view upon what has happened in the period 1991 to 2016. Then you can access two videos about the reactivation of Freemasonry in Bulgaria, the turbulences during the years afterwards, and now we just prepared for a virtual order called Sapere Aude, brief history presentation of Freemasonry in Bulgaria. You can access all these videos, you can watch them, basically just have 3 hours tops, and you get to know a lot about Bulgarian history, right from where it comes from, when did it start to occur, how did it come in Bulgaria, what happened when there was the installation in 1997, what happened later, and so on, so on, so on. So, in the beginning of our presentation today on this clip, I mentioned that there are some parts which are in Bulgarian. Now we're still translating the Bulgarian part of the history in Bulgaria. That's why we have the video, because it's much more easier to tell you in 1 hour what is the history. However, if you want to read the English language version of the history in Bulgaria, you just have to wait a couple of months. For now, we tend to be able to deliver the English language version on April 1st this year. We will try, and I think we will be able to do that. Now, let's move on forward. The Union tab. The Union tab basically explains the obedience, because as you know, the Grand Lodge of any kind is an obedience. It's a union of lodges. Now, our union of lodges with the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons in Bulgaria is noticeable because, first of all, it's the first Grand Lodge regularly installed, officially recognized by many more than 100 Grand Lodges and Grand Orients from around the world in the first couple of years after it was installed in 1997. Now, in this tab, you can see first the address of the GM, basically a presentation from the Grandmaster and what he's doing, who he's meeting, his photo, as a PDF, you can see his CV. Then, if you move forward, you can see the Grandmasters. Basically, that is all the Grandmasters until today. We're all from the bottom of the page. Now, as I stated, Ivan Stavrev, later on it was Petr Gonovsky, Rumen Rauchev, Nikola Alexandrov, Volodya Lozanov, Valery Mitkov, Plamen Matev, and today is the most worshipful Grandmaster Barak Krasimir Martinov. Every Grandmaster has his own subsection. For example, the immediate past Grandmaster Plamen Matev. You can access that and you see all the decisions he has taken, all the addresses, basically something as an address in Bulgarian, a presentation, a speaking presentation he has delivered, something which he has stated on a public or just a verbally event, it doesn't matter. His meetings also, and so on, so on, so on. Now, let's move forward. The Council of Grand Officers and the Commissions of the Grand Lodge. You can access this. You basically get to understand what is the structure of our Grand Lodge as it is stated in the founding documents. Well, basically the founding document, the first founding document, we call it Basic Law. Founding law, Basic Law, it's the Constitution. You can access our Constitution. It's here, however, since we are a Bulgarian-speaking state, it's only in Bulgarian still. Maybe we will have it translated also in English soon, I don't know. It depends on many other factors and issues. As you know, every Grand Lodge has its own legal entity, legal body. It has to be represented in a legal way in the social society of the state it is in. We have the bylaws of our NGO also, and they are also in Bulgarian, as you may see, but some stuff is over here, like the bank account and so on, so on, so on. The craft lodges. Now, this is very interesting because here you can go deeper on the website. What we have here is all the symbolic or the constituent, as it is the right term to use, the constituent lodges of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons in Bulgaria. As you saw, you just go on the Union tab, go on subsection craft lodges, you wait for a bit because there's a lot of information which your website has to translate into English and to get it working and get it done, to program it, blah, 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 to shed light upon it, and you'll be able to access every subsection of every lodge. Basically, every lodge has its own subsection in order to be able to present its activities, to present its ideas, to to present its presentations, to be able to get in contact with people or with brothers. Basically, when I say people, I don't mean that the brothers are not people. I just want to say that people who are not part of the fraternity. Now, for example, let me see my lodge, lodge number 43, Lodge Echnaton. It comes from the name of Pharaoh Akhenaton, however it's called in Bulgarian language, Echnaton. Now, as you see, the idea is to have a subsection of every lodge. You just click on that lodge you choose to click on. You see when it was consecrated, in which orient, basically which city, which is its founding mother lodge, or as we like to say, we are the daughter lodge of this lodge or that lodge. And if it is a mother lodge of another lodge, you can see it as a mother lodge of this or that lodge. For example, in our case, we are the mother lodge of the research lodge Zohar, or as it is like to be called in English, Zohar. Now you see news from the lodge, basically some are in English, some are in Bulgarian, some are bilingual, and the related cap lodge tabs over here. Now let's move to the next ones, the symbols. On the symbols page, you'll be able to see the logo of our Grand Lodge, the emblem. And because there was this anniversary, 125 years of Freemasonry in Bulgaria, in the year when we celebrated 125 years, we made our logo not for 1997 when our Grand Lodge was installed, but we put on it 1879. As in the year we tend to say that it is the first year since officially Freemasonry started to appear on the territory which now is called Republic of Bulgaria. And also in this section, you'll be able to see the hierarchy of the callings and titles between all brethren and all rituals and rites in our Grand Lodge, how it is appropriate to call this or that officer, and so on and so on and so on. Music for the rituals. So for example, if some ritual is for some reason being carried out in the open air, we have a lot of spring and during summer. You can download from here the 27 audio files that we work with in our activities and during lodge meetings. Now, the next subsection is very interesting also. It's called temples. When we say temples, we mean Freemasonic halls. In some parts of the world, you say temples. In other parts, you say halls. We have chosen to say temples. Some of the temples here, some of the Masonic halls, we are still working on getting some more information for them. Basically, to put some more photos, new ones, put a video, put a 360 view, or even a walk-in, virtual walk-in in the temple itself, in the Masonic hall. For some of them, we have done that. For others, we have not. But let me show you. For example, if you go in the temple. Which one? Okay, National Masonic Hall of the Ancient and Scottish Rite of Bulgaria. This is a temple which is together used. It's a temple of the Supreme Council, third degree, which together we used with them in the Orient of Plovdiv. As you see, you have a very beautiful temple, very beautiful photo. Basic information is also available on the website. We choose not to publicize the official addresses. It's upon request from a brother or non-related to Freemasonry person. For security issues, we don't do that, but it's not something we have. If you want to come, you ask, you come. And there's a gallery with all these settings from the lights that you can do for different rituals and stuff like that. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The George Washington Masonic Memorial. Now, we have chosen to put this subsection not in history, but in the Union, because many years ago, our Grand Lodge was one of the first Grand Lodges in our region to start participating in almost every possible initiative that the George Washington Masonic National Memorial, located in Alexandria, Virginia, in the US, started to promote. Basically, if you have been there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, go there. It's a great place to go to visit, especially if you're a Freemason. As you see, many of our lodges back then started with the tree campaign. It still exists, this campaign, to donate a tree, to raise a tree in that memorial. And what we do is that we have publicized the official links. And for example, where's my lodge? Okay, here it is, lodge number 43. If you put this up, you see that you go directly to the George Washington Masonic National Memorial website, and you see a tree dedicated to Lodge Echnaton, number 43, and it tells you the species, the dedication, the date, 27th of April, 2011, and not almost, it's, 20 years ago. And you can see here an actual current picture, photo taken of the tree and our stone, which we have put there. And you can see the GPS coordinates in where our tree is located exactly. Um, let's get back to our website. Now, regularity is something which we have chosen to put online, not only to spread it and to give it to Grand Lodges which we communicate with. We have our regularity criteria up online because we want to be open, to be able to negotiate much more freely with the brothers around the world and not to be asked questions, are you regular or not? So do you agree with this? Do you agree with that? You go on our website, you see what is there. This is what it is. The next one is recognitions. Of course, after regularity, we said, okay, we're going to put up all the recognitions. Now, this is the list. We actively work with many Grand Lodges and Orient, and you can see them on this list, on this website. I'm going to zoom in a bit. And this is the actual information which is updated back on 3rd of March 2020, almost 1 year ago. We'll be updating it soon again. And most of the letters which we have chosen to publicize, some which we have only with non-linkable listing, we will publicize soon. We have chosen to publicize them in order not to just to say, okay, we deal with this in that state or this or that Grand Lodge or Grand Orient. If you want to know, for example, if do we deal, for example, with Alaska? Okay, let's go to Alaska. I don't know why. Okay, they have a Grand Lodge meeting in 1 month. That's why I'm thinking of Alaska. You're here, recognition from Grand Lodge of Alaska, and you see the proceedings from their books. You see an actual photo from 2019 from the delegation which was there. You see the documents which we have together exchanged and so on, so on, so on. For example, if you go to England, where's England? England, just a second. Okay, here's England. You see our application to the United Grand Lodge of England, which was submitted in, I think it was submitted in 2001. Yes, here it is. And every section with every recognition we have a list of the current activities that we do with the respective Grand Lodge or Grand Orient. You see that we do work with a lot of lodges, for example, in England, because I'm on this subsection currently. You see what we do on a regular basis with them. Well, most of the stuff is here from the past couple of months. A lot of the stuff from the archive, we're still digging it up and digitizing and putting it up. Now, let's go back to our website to the recognition. Okay. And as you see here, they are listed in alphabetical order. 100, I think. Yeah, they're 100 and something, but we haven't put some at 15. Yeah. 110, 115. We have put only 96 up for now. And you can see also the recognitions in chronological order, basically descending from 2019, from that was from the Grand Orient of Minas Gerais in the city of Belo Horizonte in Brazil. And you can go back down to the actual date of the installation of our Gandoch from the United Gandoches of Germany, which we want to say it's the recognition paper because, as you are open, it's decree number 6 from 1997 from the Vernig Grossloge von Deutschland, Bruderschaft der Freimaurer. And you see that you can access this document, see them, you can access the emails, the documentation, which we had back then, exchanged between us and them. Now, let's move forward. We finished with the 3 current tabs. Now, give me 5 seconds in order to have a drink. Thank you. It's a non-alcoholic, it's water. Okay, now we go on to the Unity tab. Unity tab is a very interesting tab because in our jurisdiction currently we have 4 gun lodges, as you can see in our previous presentation. Now, we tend to promote the shared united Bulgarian Orient concept. What do I mean? You go on the website, you go to this, and it is explained much more deeper than I'll try to explain. Basically, we want to work in the same jurisdiction, a couple of gun lodges, share the jurisdiction, share the information, work together in order not to go into different types of quarrel, which is not a brotherly thing, as you may know. Now, what happened later, because this concept evolved in the years 2005, 2006, we formed the so-called National United Gun Lodges of Bulgaria. Again, on this website, as you see, 2016, on this website, you have a subsection for this entity, which we formed, 3 gun lodges in the jurisdiction, we formed this, and we now call this entity National United Gun Lodges of Bulgaria. We have a special dedicated website. You can access it from here on the right, on every single page, apart from the main page of the website. You have this logo, National United Gun Lodges of Bulgaria. You can click on it and access the entity or the union of 3 gun lodges in Bulgaria. Now, every gun lodge we work with in the jurisdiction of Bulgaria has its own subsection in our website. Apart from them having their own websites, we try to show that it's not only words we put forward by saying, okay, we work together. We also put forward deeds. We also share information from them. Basically, when they send us information, for example, the Gun Lodge of Bulgaria or the Gun Lodge of Ancient and Scottish Rite in Bulgaria, they have their own sections on our website, and we publicize the information which concerns work, activities, projects, events, initiatives, whatever, with these brothers from these gun lodges. Now, the next parts of the Unity tab are the Supreme 33rd of the Ancient Except Scottish Rite Bulgaria. And by the way, congratulations to all the brothers which are in this in the Supreme Council. We all together just marked 20 years in the making. It was, I think, 7th of January this year that we had our 20-year anniversary since the installation of the Ancient Except Scottish Rite of Bulgaria by the southern jurisdiction of the Supreme Council, 33rd degree southern jurisdiction of the USA. Now, they also have their own section here. If we go onto that section, you can see that there's the logo, there's the actual agreement between the 2 entities, between us as the mother gun lodge of all the gun lodges in Bulgaria and the Supreme Council, which was installed in 2001, when then there was no other gun lodge. By the way, it was only us. And we have the agreement, we work with them. It's real brotherhood, real brotherly love, no promise at all. Now, for like a couple of months now, we have introduced a new structure in the gun lodge. It's called the High 12 International. We're working now on starting its own clubs. I'm saying that because I'm, I think, the first member from Bulgaria, for which I'm very proud and honored to be accepted as one. And we just started this structure. So you can get to know a bit more about the structure. Of course, apart from English languages, it is also in Bulgarian language if you happen not to speak English, but you're listening to this presentation. Anyways, the Museum again of Freemasonry, you can find also in the Unity tab. And now we move on to the Foreign Affairs. Now, this is a link to the activities we do outside of Bulgaria. Now, if you press on this link, you'll get the activities. Okay, this was a couple of hours ago. This was a virtual meeting of the Gun Lodge of Minnesota, and this was part of the lecture series, Building a Better Beehive, Build a Better Beehive, and it focused on the senior warden. Yesterday, there was the British Columbia Yukon Gun Lodge in Canada, where the most social past Gun Master Bob Body and the most social Gun Master Don McKenzie. They talked about they delivered an update on the status of Masonry in Canada and the world as a whole, and a lot of stuff. You can see a lot of stuff we're doing with a lot of gun lodges and gun audience, and a lot of other, not only gun lodges and gun audience, a lot of Masonic entities around the world. Now, let's go back, Freemasonic charity initiatives. Now, for us, in the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons in Bulgaria, it is very important to note this. First, charity in all our ritual work is mentioned to be kept in secret. Now, there is, of course, some charity we do publicize from time to time that we have done. But most of the charity that we do, it doesn't matter whether it is an action of, just a second, an action of a brother, or an action of a Grand Lodge, or an action of any constituent lodge, we don't publicize it, most of the stuff. Why? Well, we don't publicize it because the idea is not to offend or hurt the one who is being supported. There is this issue, it's tricky, and we have the ability, if we can not hurt someone, we better not hurt him. Basically, we try to be in moral support, in financial support, in material support without showing off what we do. This is why a lot of the charity that we do, you cannot find it. You cannot understand that it happens. So, okay, let me just switch off Whiteboard. Just a second, excuse me, because someone's seeing that I speak with you and is now chatting with me. Okay, now I'm finished. Okay, just let me put up the presentation. Thank you. Now, again, if we can do something in favor of the social society, in favor of the community that we're part of in our non-Masonic life, we do it, but we do not publicize it. We do not want to show off what we do in terms of just with the charity idea. Freemasonry is not a charity for us. Freemasonry is much more deeper. It's something we work with, first of all, with ourselves, with our soul, with our minds, with our abilities to control and to rule over ourselves, to know ourselves. Now, of course, we do have charity initiatives which we put forward. Some of them are for the wide public, others are for the Freemasonic activities that we work with, that we work on. As you see, Freemasonic charity activities in this tab, you can see them over here. There will be much more information publicized in a couple of months because some of these initiatives are old. However, we have already completed some of them. Others are still in the making. And yeah, we'll be updating that soon, to what I know. Now, the news section, as I stated, as I mentioned previously, is very interesting. If you go to the news section and press All News, you will access something like, I think, 800, 900 posts from the past 5 years, I think. I mean, almost every second day or every third day of the week, we have something going on in publicize it. It's much more intensified during the past 10, 11, 12 months, as you know, due to COVID. So we try to put everything up. We try to maintain it to be up to date. However, we do it from time to time. Basically, sometimes we do it on the spot, and sometimes it takes long. It takes 1 or 2 weeks to just compile all the information, put it online. We're working on having it much more up to date, and we will do that pretty soon, I think. Now, in this section, you'll be able to differentiate between different types of information. First of all, you can access what our Gun Lodge is doing around the world. When you push this button, you have a subsection coming in, and this is around the world, and this is a subsection for the Conference of Grandmasters of Masons in North America, which is held mostly in the USA. As you know, sometimes it's in Mexico, sometimes it's in Canada, but mostly in the USA. Now, there we have, as a foreign Grand Lodge, which is not a member of this conference, we have subsection because that concerns the Commission on Information for the Commission, because we aim to be public in all the activities that we do, public in terms all the brothers and to know what we do. What we do with the Commission on Information for the Commission. And if you press this, you'll be able to read all the reports from 1994, so when actually we started thinking of getting the lodge consecrated, installed, blah, 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 until 2016, until today, because this was the last time there was a report. Now, let's move forward from lodges around the world. Now, this is the information section where we publish information that we have received or we have participated in an activity of a lodge or a brother or a grand lodge around the world. We have, of course, again, the link to discourses, and we have something very interesting. This is the bulletin. The bulletin basically shows an automized section in which you can access every annual bulletin of our Grand Lodge. You can access it, you can read it. Of course, a lot of the stuff there is in Bulgarian. However, if you access, for example, the general bulletin for 2020, as I'm now doing, you'll be able to see what we have done and all the information, yes, all the information that we have posted in the previous year, in the year 2020. And you see there's a lot of stuff that is going on and a lot of stuff that we did during that year, no matter the COVID situation. Well, a lot of stuff was put online. Prior to COVID, a lot of stuff was not put online, but now we're putting a lot of stuff online, as you see. And as many of us are doing, and many of you guys are doing, as I know. Now, we move on to the calendar. As you know, the calendar is something which every lodge tries to implement. These are some gatherings of some lodges. They are not official gatherings because currently they cannot work officially. There's a decree from the Grand Master, with which he has he has advised the Grand Lodges not to work due to the COVID situation. However, there is some lodges which have already moved forward into the hybrid scenario, hybrid ritual, the hybrid version of getting a lodge to meet and to work with all the magic being there, and not to ruin the ritual only for the sake of getting the ritual done, getting the meeting done, should I be more precise. So what I remember from a couple of days ago, we three lodges, well, officially two lodges, they were members of a third lodge. We did the first hybrid scenario, the first hybrid ritual, and yeah, it was pretty good. We didn't lack anything. We had everything by the rules, by the traditions, by the landmarks there. Everything was as it had to be. We had cameras, we had audio, we had microphones, we had people, well, brothers virtually inside. We had also brothers officially, physically inside, of course, with all the measures taken not to spread or to be able to catch the disease. Now, if you want to contact us, for example, if you're a seeker, if you want to become part of Freemasonry, you know, there's a saying, to be one, ask one. Well, don't ask me. If I'm a friend of yours, ask me, but don't go searching for me on Facebook or somewhere else and getting to know me and getting to ask me, okay, can I become a brother? Yes, okay, but I'm not the guy who decides. I'm the guy who decides for the people I know. If you happen to know a person who wants to become a brother in the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons in Bulgaria, for example, he's an expat or a foreigner, because I'm speaking in English currently, and he's going to reside in Bulgaria for some time, and he wants to become a Freemason, just point him to our website, to the section Contact Seeking Light. When you go to this section Seeking Light, you'll be able to understand how is the process of getting to become a member possible? Now, first of all, there's some stuff you have to read. It's very short, of course. In Mason, when someone tells you something is very short, and you press the link which I just pressed, you go to a very long information which you have to read. Of course, this is Freemasonry. It starts short, it becomes long. Now, what we have to understand, all of us, is that we are able to present Freemasonry in much more open, in a much more open and wide perspective to many prospective members, to many seekers of light, and we have to do that. That's why I'm presenting this website. It doesn't matter whether you're going to join our lodge or any other lodge. Most of the websites have this menu, have these sections. Most of the websites of Grand Lodges and Grand Orients around the world try to recruit online. Currently, it's much more easy because it's COVID, you're in lockdown, you want to become a Freemason, go online, make your registration. Well, you will not become a Mason that way, but that's another thing. And to what I know, for example, the Grand Lodge, which is much more way ahead of how to have people initiated into Freemasonry, is the Grand Lodge of New York. They are doing a great job. They have a lot of brothers working 24/7 upon getting what they want to happen in order to be able to have all the people, all the men who want to become brothers Now, as you see, this website for now is very informative, very public, it's very open. Of course, we have a section which is the financial section, the inner information section, which is closed only to brothers. Now, for security reasons, I will not mention how that is in program-wise made. I will not mention how we have done that because this is security of the Grand Lodge. And however, if you are a Grand Lodge or a Grand Lodge representative of any Grand Lodge or Grand Orient, do contact us. We might be able to get some know-how to you in order for you to be able to build up your system, build up your information structure as we have done during the past 5, 6, 7 years. And for now, it is working very good, very good and very effectively. Now, as I stated prior to all this, I'm going to say goodbye in a couple of minutes. But before saying goodbye, if you want to get to know much more information about Freemasonry on a regular basis, and for example, you are from the press, basically you're a journalist, you're writing an article, or you're just a person who wants to receive information which is for the wide public. You don't want to become a Freemason, or you don't have the ability, or for any other reason, if you're not a Freemason but you want to keep in touch, we have this subsection in our contact tab. It's called For the Press. You just come in here, push in your email, and you will be up and on our mailing list. As you see, we have a lot of press releases on a regular basis issued. And if you want to contact us, you go to the Connect section and you'll be able to contact and connect with us. So this is for now. I'm stopping to share my screen. Thank you very much. Be safe. Be well, you, your loved ones, your families, your colleagues, of course, the brothers, of course, and be safe. Thank you very much for listening, for watching. It was a pleasure, and